Hello, beautiful gemstones. Thank you for joining us this beautiful Monday afternoon. It's a little chilly here in New Jersey. I wish that I did not still have to wear sweatshirts in my bedroom. Thank you guys for coming out and hanging out with us for the next hour. Our guest canceled at the last minute at 8 o'clock this morning because I think he said he had to work, but that's okay. I'm sure we can find something to talk about here for the next hour or so. I'm just so excited and happy to see all you guys. I hope you checked me out on Michigan UFO on Thursday night. We also streamed it from this channel. So if you go into my live stream videos, you will find that it's the most recent one besides this one. And I was interviewed as the guest, which is cool because a lot of the times I don't do those types of interviews anymore simply because I'm not asked. But I do like doing them because it's a good way to not only promote myself, but to promote what we're trying to do and get out there here on this channel. One quick thing, I am not able to attend the premieres a lot of the time because I sleep late because I have a hard time sleeping. And then as soon as I wake up, I have deadline. And then after that, then I'm able to enjoy the rest of my day. So I do them early in the morning so you guys can get your dose of Gemma first thing in the morning. But Ghostdragonzw is usually there. So anyone that was just in the premiere, he's a little, not really worried, but he felt kind of bad that there might be some people who are angry with him because he had to time out and block a subscriber who, it's not one of our Wednesday night people. It's not one of our regulars, but some of the Wednesday night and regular people were a little upset with him. I was talking about a vampire, Crogland Grange vampire. Guys, I want this to be a safe place for everybody to come in and be able to have fun and to be able to share their opinions and their thoughts and their theories. But if you come in talking about the monster in your pants and homosexuals, even if I wanted to allow something like that, I can't. I barely make any money off YouTube as it is. If it wasn't for your guys' donations, I probably wouldn't make any money off of it except maybe $30 a month. I could lose my entire channel if I don't do something about that. So luckily he was there to do something about it, because if that chat had just happened to come up randomly in the algorithm to be checked and nobody said anything to this guy, which is what my moderators are for, I would have gotten in trouble. The video would have gotten, demonetized and things like that. So while I want you guys to be able to feel safe to talk about whatever you want, I don't want it to be at the detriment to me or my channel, but also to other people who, like, we don't, there's no need to be talking about sexual preference or your penis in my chat when I'm talking about vampires. So I think most of us know that. Yeah, pants monster. That's a mess. Yes. So with all that being said, let's move right along. I'm sorry, there's a glare. I might get something to hang there. But I'll be back in my regular office by the next time we do this, like back at home. So that is cool. Let me say hello to everyone, and then I will bring Steven out. Smoochie's back. What's up, girl? Hello, Miss Shelley. Oh, don't worry about it. We all have things that we have to do sometimes during stream, and we're all in and out. And if I wasn't the one doing the stream, I would probably be in and out too. I don't go to other people's live streams simply because I don't have a lot of time, but also because I just don't have the capability within myself to sit for an hour and converse unless I'm here. So don't worry about it, baby girl. Slow motion. That is awesome. This Easter marks 25 years of peace in Ireland, so a lot of reflection going on. That's amazing. Paranormal Pixie, what is up, girl? Chillin', Charlie. Charlie. Edna, hello. All right, let's bring him in.
Hi,
hello,
folks.
Sir.
I didn't want to come off as the bad guy, but unfortunately, you got to be careful. That's all I'm saying. Use some tact. This is not a political channel. Let's just keep it nice and safe for Gemma's sake. And
for all
I love you all. Hey, Chris.
Do it. So let's move past that because I don't want to dwell on it.
Yes, I just wanted to make my peace.
Hey, what's up, Jarvis? Well, what else did you expect here on this channel? Seriously. Red Bull and pants monsters. I mean, I'll be.
I'm no one to have a
Yes,
friend.
Easter took all of my energy as well, but it was fun. It was amazing. It was very relaxing for the most part, meaning I didn't have to do a lot of like work, like at the computer writing and all that. But it was a lot of work because RJ's only 4.5, and it was the first time he really understood the concept, just like with Christmas, of the Easter Bunny. Like this was the first year he really understood that Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny were coming. And Easter Bunny may have went a little overboard because he had, I think, 4 baskets full of stuff. Um, you guys, Ghost Dragons, myself, my mom. Hey, Kirby's. Yes, thank you. So I did mention the Crogland Grange vampire in my first video about vampires, but that was kind of before the public obsession started. And I wanted to go back and revisit it because honestly, when I talk about, there was something else that I was like, what were we? Oh, the pale humanoids, right? So I'm like, are they are they all really the same thing? The tall ones, the pale crawlers, the Fresno night crawlers, but are they all in different stages of transformation? So I wonder about the Crogland Grange vampire. Is this some sort of defective type of vampire as we know it? Maybe. Or is this how they really are all together and what we see on, True Blood, Twilight? Well, Twilight obviously is fantasy, but on the more I want to say realistic, but I mean we're talking about vampires here, but the more realistic types of shows, is that just more realistic for us because of what Hollywood has done to them? And are they really like Nosferatu and the Crogland Grange vampire? I don't know, but I'm going to be doing the Highgate vampire next, and that'll probably be a double feature because I can't find a lot on that one. Vampired out. Slow motion, the only reason I'm not is because I really, truly, like, I don't just say this for YouTube. I really do believe that they exist. I believe they exist just as much as skinwalkers and werewolves. I just believe that they're so masterful of being able to hide it. So that's kind of why I do a lot about vampires. It isn't to feed the Hollywood agenda or to overwhelm you guys. It's because I'm hoping that one day I put something together or find something that shows me where they are. Are they really hiding in Transylvania? I don't think does Transylvania exist anymore? It's called something else now. No, it is Transylvania. Or are they, moving around? You have these celebrity pictures of, Jay-Z, Nick Cage, John Travolta.
I'm going to say something because I agree with Chili Charlie. If you want to find vampires, go to Hollywood. It's as simple as that.
That's, and that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Miss Gemma, you never look worn out or tired. Go, Gemma, go. Yeah, well, I have really good makeup. I've been buying better makeup. I don't sleep. Are you kidding me?
I know.
Although Saturday night I did sleep very well. I was surprised. I slept pretty much through the night. But I just started buying better makeup, guys.
I don't know.
Once I turned 40, I was like, could splurge a little bit,
Sleep eludes me. But then again, the motion never stops.
Vampires reside in DC. And that's the thing. I do think that they're all over the place. I believe, of course, they're in New York City, maybe all the big cities. But then I think, would they really be in big cities where everything is overly surveilled? Or would we find them in like McAdoo, Pennsylvania, or East Rutherford, New Jersey? Not that those places aren't surveilled. I don't think there's surveillance in McAdoo. We got to ask Nick why when he comes into a visit on Wednesday nights. But I mean, those smaller areas, especially like in the Midwest, Investigation Discovery had this show, and it was called Vampires in America. And it was like a 2-hour long thing. And for the first hour, I really believed that this was something real. So I was very excited about it because I was like, oh, wow, real vampire hunters equals real vampire. You're not going to be a vampire hunter for 20 years and you never caught a vampire, right? What a waste of life. But then after about an hour, I started to understand that
The same thing
was,
they the mermaids. They had
it was a
everybody so
joke.
fooled.
It was a joke, you know. I
Have you
know. But you know what it is? It's like when you want to believe in something badly enough, right? When you want something to be real so bad that you're willing to give anything that's said about them or shown about them a shot, at least. The good thing is I'm still able to, you know, be honest enough with myself that that was a mockery. And I was actually a little upset about it because I did think that it was
I'll
real.
tell you, there's a movie you should watch. It's an older movie. It's called Near Dark. And it's a good movie. It's about vampires. It's about vampires that basically live in the desert and they ride the desert roads and they ride around in the van during the day with the windows all taped up and stuff. It's cool. It's a good movie.
I'll
I
check it
think you'll
out.
get kind of, and there's another one called Nomads with uh he played Remington Steele. What's his name? I forget his name because he did a
That
great
one I
job.
might have seen
Uh
because I
the
don't know the guy's real name, but I know
He
I
played
have the
Dr.
image of that in
Phaeton.
my head.
It's
So
about nomads, and it kind of comes off as kind of a vampire thing too.
cool. All right. I will definitely check them out. My mom probably has the one downstairs in her DVD
Probably
collection.
Near Dark's a great
Jarvis
movie.
says, East Rutherford, Uncle Tony's Deli. I lived 2 blocks from Uncle Tony's and I worked at the Meadowlands Diner. So Pierce Brosnan.
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, what's the first thing you do when you cut your finger? Suck the blood. And I may or may not, you know, I don't know, do that when my kids cut themselves too. Um, I don't want them doing it, you know. It's especially a little kid. I don't want him getting into that habit. But Russian vampires in Alaska, I will check that one out too. You guys, thank you because I never heard of these. So someone said I put makeup on and look like more of a clown. I know we got several different things going on here, but you know, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but from like say this time last year to now, my makeup has gotten a lot less intense. And that's because I'm not talking like I don't spend tons and tons of money on makeup, but instead of paying $4 for a foundation, I now pay 14. You know what I mean? I just kind of went a little bit higher. And it because foundation lasts me a year. I'll use one of those little things for an entire year. So, okay. There's something that came up in my mind that I wanted to discuss with you guys, and I might talk about it again Wednesday night. I finally gave in and started watching Ghost Adventures. I've never seen it. My mom talks about it a lot, but she does not like Zach. Okay.
He's not a good guy. He's not
Okay.
a good guy.
Okay. A lot of people do not like him, but let me tell you what I picked up from him. Zach, it's not that he's not a good guy. But you're definitely entitled to that opinion. And a lot of people do opine that. What I pick up from him is that he had this goal. If you notice in the first few seasons, he's like, we don't have cameras following us. You know, it's just us. He made it happen and it went to his head. He doesn't like competition. Like I notice when someone else hears something and they're super duper excited, something always happens to him. And like, cause he needs like the attention to be on him. But he is super empathic. And I do believe he has some mediumship abilities that he's not. First of all, I have a crush on who's the guy from that show, not the bald guy. Oh, I'll never meet him. Don't worry about it.
Nick.
No, not Andy. He's like a little bit chubby and like semi-bald.
Oh,
what's his name?
it's one of the
Is
guys.
it Nick? I gotta look it up.
Nick's the one that got left. He kind of got pushed out. Nick's the one that runs Paranormal Lockdown. And
no, this guy.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name.
I'll look it up in a minute. I think his name might be Billy. I just think he is adorable. And the reason I like him is because Andy, in my opinion, or Aaron, his name Aaron, Andy, Aaron,
yes,
the guy with
Aaron,
the bald head, the goofy guy. You guys
I think
know?
that's Aaron, yes.
So I call him Andy because Andy to me is a fun name and his energy is very childlike and you know, goofy and silly. And I love that. He's probably a Leo. But but he's kind of like a pushover for Zach. One thing I also noticed about Zach, and I don't want to be sued by Zach Baggins. I like Zach. I think he had a dream. He went for it. I think he's a little bit of a diva, but who's to say that I wouldn't be like that if I got that much attention for what I did too? You never know who you're going to become. I think he's just very proud and confident. I do think like the rage issues, I believe that because entities will play on your emotions like that, like the one you don't want to come out the most. He probably has had rage issues in the past, maybe, or it's something he's dealt with, right? I don't know, but I'm just saying. But I noticed that like he only has those rage issues towards his staff that he knows is going to take it. Like when he was with Post Malone in the Dybbuk room, he didn't attack Post Malone. Like he didn't suddenly get all raged up and then he was ready to, but like when it comes to Billy, the guy that I like, I hope his name is Billy. He's always like whacking him in the face or like, and Billy would be like, I know it's not you, dude. I know it's not you. So anyway, my point of this whole thing, and I've been watching Ghost Adventures since I think Tuesday night, like nonstop. They did the Cecil Hotel. That was fantastic. They're an amazing group of guys. Okay. But here's the thing you guys have to understand. Everyone should understand. And people always say, 25 seasons and okay, you get a little bit of evidence, but what do you really have to show for yourself? And let me explain to you why I think that happens and why I think I should have my own show. Okay. Say you're a spirit, or just say you're you. How about this? And you're going to meet a complete and total stranger who's in your house, but they were invited there. Say they were invited there by someone else for whatever reason. And you've been, you haven't spoken to anyone in 10 years at all. You've been a complete shut-in. Suddenly someone's in your house and they say, hi, I come in peace. I just want you to talk to me. I just need someone to talk to. And you think, okay, all right, I'm scared. I'm going to go talk to this person. I'm going to say, hi, my name is Gemma. How are you? As soon as you go up to them, you don't even get hi out. You say hi, and they go, oh my God, and start screaming in your face. Or they say, hold my hand, it'll be okay. But the second you touch them, they're like, something touched me. Would you stick around to have more conversation and interaction with that person? Or would you run and hide because that's scary and weird? That's why people don't get good evidence.
Right.
And I understand you have to be loud and dramatic for the camera. But if they would just shut the heck up and stop overreacting to getting what they're asking for, I guarantee you, if anyone would be able to do it, Ghost Adventures would. Because they are very in tune with their surroundings. If you guys watched the episode where they went to the, what was it called? The Woshu Club. They went to it 3 times. The third time they went, their 2 really good friends, the man and the woman team, the man had killed the woman, ended up murdering her in real life. Billy was very upset. And he was saying, like, if you're here, guys, I don't give a crap about the cameras, but like, I know you're here. They caught the woman's voice, and she had a very distinct voice saying, Billy's upset, okay? Like she was telling someone, like, shut the heck up. He's upset. Then they got a 2015 brand new shiny quarter just pegged at them. And 2015 is the year that the killing / taking the own life happened. And he said, what is this? And they said, quarter. And he's like, what did you do? Dropped it. Who is it from? Us, change, portal. They could have gotten so much more and went so much further with that had they not continuously overreacted. Now, one more thing I want to talk about Ghost Adventures, and then we can move on to something else. These are things, guys, like that I ruminate on throughout the week and wait to bring to you all, right? Because I talk to my mom about it, but like I don't have a lot of people to talk to about this stuff. So with the demon house, I covered the house that's allegedly has 200 demons in the basement, the Ammon house in Gary, Indiana, where Michael Jackson's from. When Zach locked himself in there, he's had to wear glasses ever since, prism glasses. if he takes a risk with the surgery, he risks blindness, or he could wear those glasses, which I think he looks adorable in them. So I would wear the glasses too. He looked upon a demon. He locked himself in there, and all you heard was that it was chilling. There was this growl moan, and he said, "Get the F away from me." He threw something at it, and then you can see on the camera this black, dark shadow walk by. He looked upon a demon with his bare eyes that he was not supposed to see. I believe this happened because he has some medium abilities in him. And because of that, he burned something with his eyes. So I just want to let you guys know, if you're ever ghost hunting, I know it's really hard to not react, but the less you react, the more you'll get. Okay. Let's see what you guys are saying after I rambled. Watch things for entertainment value. Hey, Dr. Z, welcome. Yeah, Dr. Z, please don't take anything personally, and we move on from things very quickly here. We love you. You're more than welcome. And it's not us. I would love for everyone to be talking about whatever they want, but YouTube will demonetize my channel if we don't do things like that. So let's move on from that. And I hope that you're good with us, because we're good with you and we love you. And I'm sure glad you came in. Yes, Smoochie. So true. They ask the spirits to show themselves, and then they do. Oh man, yes. Could you imagine that, Smoochie? If someone says, "Smoochie, if you're here, come touch my hand," and you're scared and nervous, and you're like, "All right, I don't know this person, but all right." And the minute you touch them, they're like, "Rah, something touched my back." Like, you would run. Well, who would want to? Who would want to do that? Yes, yes. Well, luckily we know Dr. Z. Actually, Dr. Z has been in our stream numerous times. So, okay, Zach and them play with the wrong stuff. Here's the thing that even a priest told Zach, and Zach said, "I'm not going to stop doing this." I do not agree. I don't know what GHA. Do you mean Ghost Adventures, Lara? I do disagree with one thing that they do. They provoke. Or Zach provokes. You shouldn't even, like, if you're using a Ouija board, which again, I told you guys, it took me years and years to learn how to do safely. And now I think I'm so protected that all it will do is say goodbye. It will not work for me at all. No matter what I do, no matter what setting I'm in, the Ouija board just goes directly to goodbye. I love you. You guys are so amazing. So when you even say to a Ouija board, "Give us a sign you're here," you are inviting that entity to leave the board and physically interact with your home, yourself, your belongings. Never, ever, ever do that. Okay. And outright provoking, I think you're right. It is disrespectful, because even though you're trying to provoke a demon, you could end up with the spirits taking it as being provocative too. He doesn't differentiate. There are a lot of shows out there where people will say, any former living spirits that are here, we mean,
he just stirs up anything he can stir up.
Right. Did you guys watch
when you go looking for things that are bad, you're going to find them.
Well, that's why he almost went blind. He has to wear those glasses now. A lot of people said he did that for publicity. I don't think so. I really believe that when he looked upon that demon, they show you the thing walk by. They don't show a demon. It shows in shadow. I don't believe he saw it as shadow. I believe he saw its true form, because it didn't know he was there. Because he was laying there trying to sleep Amy, Adam, and Chip on Kindred Spirits. First of all, if you're talking about Chip Coffee, I love him. I used to watch him in Paranormal State. Ghost Adventures is the first ghost hunting show I've really ever watched, except for, well, I don't want to say the name of the show because they were bogus. They never showed anything except reaction. Everything always happened off camera.
They were the first ones too.
They were, and they were one of the first, if not the first. But it's like,
well, they blew it with not Jason, but the other guy, when he got busted at the Stanley Hotel for some things, and it ruined the show.
I understand that sometimes things happen off camera, Well, if they're known for being bogus, then I'll say it was TAPS. Okay.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
TAPS people. Okay. And I'd like you to explain that to me, but just give me a minute on this. So I'm starting with Ghost Adventures. And the reason I started with Ghost Adventures, one, I don't have a lot of time to watch TV except at night. Two, my mom hates Zach Bagans. So I have to, of course, see what the guy's all about. And number three, I started by watching their investigation into the Cecil Hotel, into they did a few of them. They quarantined in the museum. They opened 2 Dybbuk boxes, okay, at once. I was very scared about that when they did that. As far as Cindy, there's a Cindy, a psychic medium named Cindy. Lara, you and I have discussed her. You said that you are. I don't know if you said you knew her or if you've worked with her before. The only thing with her that I don't like watching, I love the guy she works with. His name is Skip or something like that. And they go out to haunted places too together, and they make a great team. Cindy Kaza. Okay, so I just wonder with her how she can, like, she'll be doing an automatic writing session, and she'll be like, the lights will go off, and she'll be like, oh, it's too scary in here. We have to stop. We have to stop. I've just never seen another medium do that. So for me, I wonder, is she being a lot more smart than the rest of us? Or, why is she doing that job if she's like, literally, I've seen her walk into a room to communicate with a spirit and a light goes out and she goes running. She's like, can't do anymore. I'm so scared. Like, maybe explain what you're scared of, because maybe it's that she saw something and she, you know what I mean? And she was so afraid of it. That I totally get. So her definitely thinks she's the real deal. I just don't understand the way she does things, I guess. So she kind of ruins it for me as far as watching her. Hello, Nicole. Anyone else that came in?
And I'm sorry, Nicole, about the other day. And I called you sir. I'm sorry. Now, you said you had something you wanted to ask me or elaborate on?
No. Yeah. What? Just real quick while the chat kind of catches up. What happened with TAPS? They got caught.
Okay, this is the rumor. This is what I heard behind the doors, because I do know contacts. And
absolutely, Dr. Z.
I have relatives, or the ex has relatives that live in Estes Park.
Tell me what happened.
Okay. Anyways, during one of their, I believe it's one of their live streams on Halloween, they were at the Estes Park. They were at the Stanley Hotel. They were down in the basement, and as they were going through, they could hear children's voices saying hi. Now, I get Jason and the other guy mixed up. Is Jason the bald one?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, the other one, the other guy, turned out to be his kids standing on the other side. See, if you go to the Stanley Hotel, it's built on top of limestone. And the employee entrance is underground. You literally go underground through these little caves and come up inside the hotel. Where they were down there walking around, and they kept hearing children going, hi. And it turned out to be his kids. He had planted them down there to get the stream going, because they were streaming, it was alive.
Oh, that's not, no.
And they came out, and nobody really talked about it. He just kind of left the show, and then they said, oh, there was some other thing. Now, I know they're still friends, and I know they own a hotel together that's also supposed to be haunted. But it did hurt the show. That's why all of a sudden you see all kind of changes going on with the shows as it was developing. Then they had the Ghost Hunters International, was because it damaged the reputation of the show. I stopped
watching only because,
I used to love that show.
It was all reaction.
Yeah, it was a lot of it. I mean, they had good stuff.
Things happen off camera, guys. If I were to try to stream all the activity in my house, I probably would only get 10% of it, because as I walk into this room, something comes to that room, if that. But there has to be something. And I guess I guess I expect more because I started watching more recently. They were the first ones to do it, so they didn't have all of the fancy equipment. My favorite thing in the whole world. Oh, I want to talk to you guys too about an episode I watched and see what you guys think too. But that thing, I want to get one so bad, where they put out the little beads, the Xbox thing, like in Paranormal Activity. What's it called?
It's a motion detector. They use it for the Xbox. That's what reads your motion when you play the games.
Yes, and they show the little anomalies. The Ghost Brothers use it, and oh my god, I love the Ghost Brothers.
It's a really
God.
popular thing now because you can manipulate it and it will show. And what it does is it allows anything that's in that dots to
Right. It'll
to
say
be
anomaly detected, and it shows you where it is. So if you're standing in front of it, it'll show you as a stick figure. But on Ghost Hunters, the guy was like, if you're really there, kick your leg or pick your one leg up. And the thing started picking its leg up. So they went to this Aaron's when he was little, and this is so creepy, guys. Anyone from Oregon, like, there's this enchanted forest literally in the middle of the forest, but it's from like the late 60s. So everything is soups creepy, guys. Like everything, like they have an old witch where you walk into her mouth. If you could see this place, it's called the Enchanted Forest, and it's in rural Oregon somewhere.
Yes.
So they decide to investigate this because Aaron and his sister said that, his sister Amy, they said that they had experiences, and a lot of people had. They had a total full 15-minute conversation with a woman who said, you know, this is my home. Good evening. Welcome. She was saying to a child, come to mama. But Zach at the end was so drained. And that's because she was using him to pull. She was directly pulling energy out of him, not just from the air. She was pulling it from Zach. And I think that's one of his special abilities, that he should learn how to protect himself. And then maybe he wouldn't be so rageful all the time, because they do kind of gravitate right towards him. And I think 90% of what he puts on is real. I think some of it is like he wants the attention put back on him. But I think for most part, it's real. So anyway, what I was thinking was they had this little entity that had showed up. I think this was the bonus episode or something I was watching. It was about this big. And Aaron was saying, Aaron, he was saying, my fingers are numb. I think this was a different episode, but it reminded me of the Enchanted Forest episode. Just as this tiny little anomaly about this big came from like by his mouth. Do you guys believe? Okay, now this is a real Enchanted Forest. If you guys want to Google it, I'm sure you can find it. Enchanted Forest in Oregon. Okay.
There's a number of them, but yeah, the one in Oregon.
The one in Oregon. That's the one I'm talking about, because it is really old fashioned. Remember the old Halloween costumes used to be really scary and creepy? It's all like that. Like it's really creepy. Like I was creeped out. Do you believe that because it's in the middle of a forest where, first of all, there was a lot of bloodshed during some wars with Native Americans, do you believe that the place could have manifested itself, or all of the belief of little children, either their fear or their belief that this place was real, could have manifested this place into being some sort of real portal for elementals? Because that's one thing Ghost Adventures didn't touch on. Elementals, like what's going on here? Perhaps elementals have taken this space as a way to live in the 3D world from time to time and not have to cross and back over. The land is soaked with blood. If you look back in the history, Ghost Adventures did look a little bit into the history of the land. This dude that owned this place, he was sitting there one day and he's like, Enchanted Forest in the middle of the woods. Cool. He bought a ton of acreage and then went and built it with his own 2 hands. It took 7 years. You guys got to check it out.
Yeah, that
the territory. No, I'm talking elementals as far as, I'm sorry, Stephen, as far as fairies. And give me an example of other elementals, guys. Mostly the Fae, that they could possibly be coming to life and manifesting.
A lot of people believe Bigfoot is a form of elemental.
But Tulpa, yeah, I guess Tulpa, yeah, because I was saying how, I guess I was asking 2 different questions. So one would be the portal to the fairy world, and 2 would be, could it be just all the fears have fed something there very evil? I mean, there wasn't a person they interviewed that said that they had a good time at this place. They were all terrified. And the haunted house on the place was the most haunted place in the place.
Well, if you notice though, Zach only touches on spirit and demons. You never really hear he'll bring up a portal if he's talking about spirits coming through that portal. But very rarely does he touch on those subjects. He's
Right, that's what I mean. I never heard him talk about elementals except the one time when that little thing was there. He thinks everything's demonic. I've noticed, especially since that happened at the demon house with his eyes.
Well, he also had problems when he went to the Mackey bar years ago. The Mackey bar is a very
first episode they ever did, though. They must have went.
No, that was the what was it? The hotel in Las Vegas.
No, I just watched the first ever episode of Bobby Mackey's.
Is it? I thought it was the hotel.
But I had to go all the way
up. Yeah, because I've been to the Mackey bar, and it's.
Are you talking about Bobby Mackey's, or is this a different place?
The bar.
Okay.
It's a bar.
Portal to hell.
Yeah, it is not a good place. I've been there. I've seen stuff there. It's not a good place, and it did affect all those guys.
Notice we're talking about elementals and he's blinking out. Happens every single time. Steven, you're frozen. We can hear you, but you're frozen.
I know. I don't know what the deal is.
It happens every time. Every single time, guys.
Let me try to pop out and come back in.
Go ahead. So, yeah.
Now I have no camera. Now I have no camera. What the hell happened?
Why don't you remove yourself fully and then come back?
That's what I'm going to do.
Okay. Bobby Mackey cuts my hair. I love your hair. I wish I could have a haircut like that. Everyone told me when I had my super short hair that it looked nice on me. I absolutely hated it. I have to have my long hair. Ow. I'm sitting on the edge of my bed right now and I have my feet up on the little like wooden ledge and my foot just like cramped up. Ouch. I don't feel like going in my office. It's so much more comfortable in my room. I am a star left to the moon. Yes. You guys are so awesome. I really missed you guys. I'm glad I decided to do this today. I wasn't going to because I never want to stream at noon because then I have to put makeup on and like whatever. But I'm glad that I did, as always. I believe they are, Lara. And it happens when we talk about the Black-Eyed Kids and when we talk about elementals and fairies. Pretty much every single time. I mean, they're not a topic we cover often, but even like when I would do Missing the Fae Theory and I would have to film it, it would happen with my editing equipment, with my lights, my phone the battery would drain, you know, so they definitely are doing something. Not ready for that. Nice, playing ball with the doggy. I've got a couple of deadlines today that I'm going to meet, and I've got a lot of packing to do to head back up north on Sunday, which I am excited about, going back to my house. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a transition, but it's going to be worth it. I wonder if he can't get back in for some reason now. Oh, there he is.
Yay.
Better.
Every time I bring up certain subjects.
I was saying that when you were gone. I was like, whenever we talk about like the BEK, we talked about the Black-Eyed Kids and Shadow Entities over on Michigan UFO the other night, Thursday night. You know what the craziest thing was about that? I forgot. I mentioned it Thursday night, and I always forget. Like, I always forget. It's just me doing everything. So I forgot, and I put the hair dye in my hair, and I was looking forward to getting in my jammies and going and relaxing. Ray was coming to spend the night, had RJ, and all of a sudden at like 7:15, and we started at 8, I was like, I saw the link come in, and I was like, oh no. And normally I would just tell them, like, I forgot. But with those two, I just love them so much, and I love talking to them. They ask such amazing questions, things other people don't ask me. So I was really excited to do it. So I just did everything I could do really, really fast and got myself in front of the camera. So it worked out.
It was actually a good show.
I don't think that you're full of poop, Dr. Z. Somebody has to live in care for the cemeteries.
Actually, I live 3 houses away from a cemetery. Growing up, I used to help in the cemetery, help dig graves and stuff to earn extra money. So, and in fact, my experience happened in a cemetery.
I used to live across the street from a cemetery, probably from when I was about 6 till I was about 8. And as a medium, a child medium, it was probably the worst 2 years of my life. But it's crazy looking back on it. I actually remember as the best because it was the last time my mom and my dad were all living together, like before the divorce. But as far as spirit, I was sick all the time. I was sick all the time because there were so many dead everywhere, because they know who can see them and who can't, and the minute you acknowledge them, and with mediums, and I think other people, certain kinds of people, that they just have a light, and other kind of sensitives, I should say, spirit just attracts them. They're drawn to them. And if you don't know how to protect yourself, they will drain you. And I had literally hundreds a week, if not more, coming to me for help. And at that time, I didn't know how to help them. I just knew how to hang out with them and be their friend. And it was usually little kids across the street from the cemetery. It was everybody. And it was, it was not a good time for me in my life. I was very sick for those 2 years, almost to the point of needing blood transfusions and, being hospitalized constantly.
I know I was growing up, I was always kind of a sickly kid. Out of the 4 boys, I was the one that was always ear infections, stuff like that. Now, I saw a lot as a kid, just like you. And living next to the cemetery probably didn't help.
Yeah. Dr. Z, I bet you have tons of stories. Why don't you write a book?
That'd be a good idea. Gemma's going to write mine.
Yeah. As soon as I write mine,
Yeah.
I am thinking about writing something soon about being a medium and spirituality and having that awakening, not the spiritual awakening, the awakening when I talked about it on Thursday. It's like, I always kind of knew that I was different, but only because of other people's reactions to me. Like when my parents would ask me, why are you in the corner in school talking to yourself instead of playing with the other kids? I thought I was playing with the other kids. So I understood, but when you're that age, you really don't. And then it was like, I was like 13 or 14 when it finally dawned on me. I think I saw a movie where someone was like me.
Right.
And I was like, is that what I'm doing? Oh my God. Like, I freaked out. And that was,
That's
it was
that,
like,
that's that epiphany that
I
hit
was
you.
off the rails for a long time because of it, because I knew that this was going to cause me problems. When you're a teenager, you care about your
Right.
friendships. And now I'm just like, either be my friend or don't. I don't give a crap. It is what it is.
Hey,
I want to
Peppa.
be friends with everyone, but not possible. What's up, Peppa?
That's like me, but mine happened that night in the cemetery when my hair changed.
Yeah, I talked about
That
that
was,
encounters.
yeah, that was my wake up call that night, that I realized there's more to me than I had ever known.
I thought that what was happening with me happened to everybody, but I thought that maybe it was happening to me either like a little earlier than other people, or I just had it for longer. I didn't understand that not everybody did this. To me, it was so perfectly natural that I didn't. And I think a lot of mediums and a lot of people with any other abilities will tell you that when you have it since pretty much birth, to you, it's so normal and natural that you can't imagine it not being.
Or
So,
understand why people react the way they do when you bring it up.
Shelly says, question at Miss Gemma and Lara, what is up with their feet and shoes? Whose feet and shoes? I just missed the chat because I was busy rambling on and on.
She apparently has seen something, and
Dr. Z, are you, not that it matters because anybody would probably have experiences if they lived inside of a cemetery. It's just a matter of people who don't believe would brush it off as something else. Do you have any abilities like mediumship or just empathic or anything like that? You probably do if you're in this stream. Empaths attract to me like so do narcissists, but narcissists don't last long on this channel because they can't handle all the light and the love and the getting along and the authenticity of the people here.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, Shelley, that's kind of just, this is the way this is my opinion. Stephen, I'll let you comment. So what I've noticed is the ones that don't show their feet, in my experience, are the ones who are more ethereal, like a little bit more translucent. You can see through them a little bit more. A lot of the time they're floating. They're not fully formed. They don't need shoes, right? And to me, 90% of the time, unless it's someone you recognize as a family member, and sometimes even then with the way time works, it's really tricky. You're actually getting a glimpse into someone who is on that property in a past or future life. Okay, we tend to see more of the past than we do the future as far as ghosts. So while it's not a ghost, like when you see something floating in front of you and you can't see their feet and they're very translucent, it's not that it's not ever a spirit, but a lot of the time you're simply catching a glimpse of something that happened. You're catching an imprint. And you know what? They're seeing you as the same way, whatever it is that you're doing. When an actual spirit and full-bodied apparition appears, usually they'll show their feet because they're showing you who they are. They're usually, wear something really out there that expresses their personality. You don't know any of them, nothing ever floating. Yeah. To me, that's the difference between looking into other lifetimes, timelines, and actually seeing a spirit. And honestly, whether that's the case or not, it's just up to them, whether they want to show you or not, how they want to present themselves and appear to you. When they turn and look at you, yeah. A lot of the
Seen
time,
that happen too.
something specific to you, Shelley, I would have to give you a reading. Yeah, because if we're just talking in general terms, that's my experience with it.
No,
Yes, I do know what a narcissist is very, very well, Dr. Z.
The things I see are so weird sometimes. Now, lately, and it might be why I'm coming off a little stressed lately, I have been seeing things that are not really good. I'm now seeing the shadows that follow people are now attached to people. Now, a lot of times I don't pay attention to the feet, but I know what you're saying, and I kind of agree with you, Gemma, about that. That the ones that kind of look like they're fading in and out and translucent, I think you're seeing a past like time replaying itself. The feet thing to me is not really about the feet. It's what I'm seeing. So I totally agree with the way Gemma put that. But what I've been seeing lately has been far more deviant, more scary. I'm seeing now things actually attached to people now.
That's
And
what I always see. I don't want to cut you off. But I do want to say that's what I mean when I talk about attachment. And I don't want to get political, guys, so don't take this as a political statement. I will say with the state of the world and how it is right now, people who have these dark attachments, and we all start forming them at around 8 and 9 years old. Okay. We all start forming, we all have these attachments that start attaching to us, and they're fairly easy to get rid of. They do feed off of our energy and stuff. But what I'm noticing too, Ghost Dragons, just like you, is that instead of being followed by the energy now, the energy is attaching. And I'll tell you why. Why I believe anyway. I can only speak from my own experience, and your experience may be different. Okay. So nobody is really right or wrong because we can only go by our own experience. And from what I understand from 40 years of knowing about this stuff, well, I am 40, so say 35 years of trying to understand this, the light workers are kind of rising up, And we are trying to shift the collective consciousness from 3 to 5D. Now, this shift is going to happen over hundreds of years. Nobody that's alive today, nobody that'll be born in the next at least 10 years, probably more, is going to see it. We're catching glimpses of it right now, what's happening, this global awareness of the collective. The sleepers, as I like to call them, the unawakened, the people who haven't even realized, that they're light beings, that kindness and love are the key, the newbies to the planet, the soul newbies. And newbie meaning they've only reincarnated, they've only incarnated 1,000 times as opposed to our 150,000 that we've all come here. They're not seeing anything. So the powers that be, there's always, I don't like using good and evil and light and dark, but in order to make things simple, let's say the powers that be of the light are collecting all of us and, raising us up and raising our awareness and raising our consciousness. But there's also powers that be for the darkness and the lower vibrationals. And they are now sending out their beings to collect the sleepers, the unawakened, the unenlightened, to keep them that way. The problem is there are more and more people even coming to me for private session. Like, I know there's something attached to me, Gemma. What is it? That's what I do. That's what I do off camera in my private time, is help to remove these attachments, help people on the path to spiritual awakening and enlightenment to understand that love is the key to everything. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's love. The answer to everything is love, right? And until the collective understands this, we're going to have a world, hopefully not as bad as it is today, hopefully not worse. But that's why these entities are attaching. Now, Dr. Z, if you believe you're a narcissist, you probably aren't one. Not a full-blown anyway, because narcissists never see themselves as narcissistic. Ever. It doesn't happen. Although when I was a narcissist, I knew I was one and I was kind of proud of it. But it's also very rare for someone. I think I just had narcissistic traits because of my drug addiction and situations I was forced into, that I was forced into things. And I became very unemotional and detached, which came off as very narcissistic. But I don't believe I really was a narcissist, because I used to. But I don't think they ever really change because they can't accept what they are. Yes, I'm very serious, Dr. Z. What is your gift? Thank you, guys.
Now, Shelley, I've seen that too. And you can tell. That's when I know that whatever's following the person is either good or evil. You'll see you'll feel the protection around that person that's following. Now, what I've been seeing lately, like Wednesday, kind of blew my mind. I was out Wednesday morning and I was at a gas station and I was watching a guy go from the gas station back to his car. He did not look happy. He looked very angry, very upset. Then I realized that whatever was attached to him was literally like trying to bite off his head. I mean, it freaked me out to see something, because that's something I've never seen. I've seen them attached. I've seen shadows holding like one hand on a shoulder. But these things that I'm seeing now are literally like, I saw a lady Saturday in the store that she looked unhappy, unhealthy. And this thing that was on her back was so gross and so grotesque. I mean, it was just not pretty. And I wanted to help her, but she didn't want anything to do with anybody. It was sad.
That's probably why.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. But this thing was horrible looking. And I'm seeing more and more of this. And it kind of got me a little bothered. I have never prayed so much for people in my life that I have lately.
That's something that I've dealt with for a really long time. And it is really hard as light workers, especially in this business, right? Because especially Wednesday and Thursday nights, I mean, Monday afternoons, you're just kicking it, like whatever comes up, comes up. Sometimes we just ramble on about nothing. But when we're really working with our abilities, it's hard to accept that in real life, there's nothing we can do. You can't go up to someone and tell them that they have a giant grotesque shadow being or a giant grotesque creature about to eat their energetic head. It just, life doesn't, I wish we could. Life just doesn't work that way. We're going to end in a couple minutes. Dr. Z Smith says they have a gift of forgiveness. And I said, that's awesome. Just be mindful. I've always been very quick and easily able to forgive as well. But I've come to realize that my offering of forgiveness was because I didn't feel I had the right to withhold it. Not withhold forgiveness, because it's good to always forgive. But I thought that I didn't have the right to be upset or angry about the way I was being treated. That's just the way I'm treated. God forbid someone should be upset with me for being upset with them. It comes from being a child, and every time I would get upset, it was an annoyance and a bother to the people that were supposed to be raising me. So I always thought getting upset or emotional was bad manners or being annoying. So I always tried to just disappear and like need as little as possible and things like that until I was needed. Then when I was needed to do something, I would go above and beyond and be the hero child. But yeah, just remember that, we all have the right not to withhold forgiveness. I mean, we have the right to do that too, but we're not going to spiritually advance if we withhold forgiveness. But forgiveness never, ever, ever has to equal reconciliation.
You can forgive and still not be happy.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Don't like to hold grudges. They're too heavy. I like that. That is a great way to put it. Forgiveness is not approval. You guys are so amazing. Yes. I always say, I will forgive you instantly because I believe that's my job as a light worker and as a human being. But don't expect reconciliation. For me, that takes proof of change. So, Dr. Z, do you want to elaborate? Because it looks kind of like you're just yelling things at this point. I think I missed something, and I would love to give you a chance to explain that before we end here in 4 minutes.
Well, he's saying forgiveness takes forgiveness. Rubbish. He's saying basically a lot of people feel that they have to forgive themselves before they forgive someone else.
Oh, yeah, no.
I think that's what he's saying. I could be wrong. But, there are people that think
completely different things.
But unfortunately, people think that way. And because they can't forgive themselves, they'll never forgive anybody else.
And that's not true. Self-forgiveness has, anything that has to do with self is completely separate from what has to do with anybody else. Your parents, your children.
Oh, no.
Your significant
What do you mean?
Other, soulmates, whatever,
What do you mean, Mr. Smith?
I'm going to give you a chance to explain why you're yelling at us.
That's all right. I'm willing to hear him out. Or them out. Man, woman, whatever you are.
You can love the person yet hate their actions. And then that's exactly it. And that's the advice.
That's when unconditional love comes into play.
Love them from afar.
You can be unconditional love and not have to agree with everything they do. It's all about yellow. Oh.
Yes, we're waiting for you, Dr. Z. I want you to explain because I don't understand. I think I missed some of what you were saying.
I must have too.
Or it just didn't come through. And I'm interested in what you believe is rubbish and no, and why you're yelling.
Makes things interesting.
I want to know what everyone thinks, not just those that agree with me, but those that disagree, there's always room for improvement. There's always room for learning. There's always room for considering other ideas. Oh, Casey, you make me cry. Casey says, Gemma, you taught me to forgive myself for not being able to forgive. And I'm glad that you learned that. That was a big thing I really felt you needed to learn. And I'm glad that you did.
Your choice, Ellie.
All right, Dr. Z, I just wanted to give you a chance to explain why you were saying rubbish and no, what were you disagreeing with?
Yeah, that's all we were asking.
Yeah, I'm just asking what were
love everyone. He
from
says
what I
love
was
everyone.
saying. Wait,
Yeah,
I'm a
and you
little
should
bit.
love everyone.
Wait, so you disagree with love everyone,
Or
or you agree with love everyone?
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Because I was saying how love and kindness are the key, and until people understand that, they're not going to spiritually advance. Is that what you were talking about?
No, he says no.
All right, can you type more than 2 words? I'm interested. Are you saying love?
I
You
love
love everyone.
every.
Okay, okay. Well,
You're
but
gonna
you're
get
new
all
here too.
frustrated.
So I don't know a lot of your ideas and your ideals, and I want to get to know you, and I want to.
We want to
Yeah, we're
respect what
only
you
getting
think.
half of the conversation,
Yeah.
and I'm on a little bit of a lag. I can see. All right, guys. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. So it's 1 o'clock. I'm done. I'm over it. I've got some deadlines I've got to meet. I will see you all on Wednesday night, starting at around 7:15. I think if we run out of people to read for early this week, we might hang out and talk, because I think because we usually start a little bit later. Well, Dr. Z, I gave you about, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes to explain, and you're just, I don't understand. If you want to privately email me, I would love to continue the conversation. I think we might continue to just hang out a little bit to let people that usually come in late have the chance to come in, because we've been missing a lot of people on Wednesday nights, and we've been ending early. And that's like my night of, getting to really connect with you guys and connect with Source. And I don't
And
want to
I've been
just,
trying to stretch it out and letting you ramble a little longer.
it's just let it go. um,
No, I was talking about Wednesday nights. That's why I've been trying to get you to ramble a little bit longer, kind of stretch it out, give more people, because people are not showing up. Some people don't show up until after 9 o'clock.
that's what I think. I just need to kind of keep it going. Okay, then bye, Dr. Z. Thank you for coming in. Good night. Good night. Have a great day, everybody. I'm so used to nighttime. I love you all. Thank you for coming, hanging out with me. Thank you for checking out the premiere. Yes, Lara, that would be great. Casey, just make sure you have your notifications set to all, because you're not the only one. Unidentified S4 also said he didn't get the notification for Thursday night, and he was really upset. Everyone, check your notifications. Make sure that you're still subscribed.
Check your subscription, yeah, because YouTube has a bad habit of just disappearing things.
Yeah, and it's been doing that a lot. It's like the more subscribers I have come in, like I had more than ever before last month, right? And now all of a sudden people are unsubscribed, people aren't getting notifications. It's like I don't know what is going on. So just know we'll be starting between 7:15 and 7:30 Eastern on Wednesday nights, all right? And I'll share it on Facebook, and I'll share it, here on YouTube, because I would love to see you all there. Casey, I know you are doing other things at the time of the stream and really don't have time to talk a lot in the chat a lot of the time. So if you're just going to listen, that's perfectly fine. But just say hello really quick. Just be like, I know then you feel obligated that you have to like say hi to everybody. Just be like, hey, everyone, just listening in the background. That way I remember to give you your reading, because sometimes I do forget.
And I've been trying to
guys.
timestamp it too.
If there's anything else, you will see it on YouTube. But other than that, I'll see you guys Wednesday. Don't forget donations, PayPal, Cash App. Join my Patreon if you want to. You get a free, personal, full intuitive oracle reading every single month. And I'm hoping that once I get moved and back home, that I can start doing some more Patreon stuff, like early releases and things like that. So also donations are how I live right now. I'm hoping to change that with a business website, but we will get there. We will all get there. I love you guys, and have a fantastic day.
Goodbye, everybody. Hold on. Get out.